Hi, I'm Marilyn Suttle, and I'm here today with 3 tips to help fortify you for a profitable future during this time of the coronavirus. The first tip has to do with you as a leader, and that is to fortify yourself outside of the work you do. When you are in your work, you're the one who's fortifying everyone else. You're fortifying your team, your vendors, your customers. You are doing what you can to manage people's fears and anxieties and your own as you're trying to keep your business viable and strong through all of this. So, to be effective long term, you need to fortify yourself. The best way to do that is outside of the workplace. Fortify yourself with social support. Social support could be a good friend, a family member who you feel comfortable sharing with, somebody who you could laugh with and let go with, because you have to have time of refreshment, or time of relaxation. So even though you think, well, I need to keep my mind on the business, you need to get your mind off of everything and rejuvenate yourself so that you can be effective when you go back. There's a saying that self-care isn't selfish, it's a form of preparation for massive action. And that's what you need to do to fortify yourself. And that could be getting on the phone with that friend, getting on a Zoom call with your buddies, creating a mastermind group. A great leadership tool is to have a mastermind group of other leaders who you can share thoughts with and converse with. So fortify yourself outside the situation. The second tip is a fortifying tip for your staff, for your team, and that is to be the sun, not the salt. What does that mean? Well, this is actually coming from the University of Michigan study of heliotropic leaders. Dr. Harry Cohen is a big proponent of this, and the easiest way to explain it is to look to nature. When you have a plant growing outside, the leaves will naturally lean toward the sun because the sun is life enhancing. And if you pour salt water onto the ground, the roots will recoil away from the salt because salt is life depleting. And similarly, the way you interact with your team is either life affirming or life depleting. So you want to be the sun, not the salt. You want to be the mentor, not the tormentor. And so ask yourself before you speak to your team, before you give corrective feedback, before you share what needs you have or what expectations you have, am I saying this as the sun or the salt? And while you're at it, let's go back to a self-care tip. Don't salt your own roots. This is something we tend to self-blame and self-stress and self-criticize. And this is not a time for that. I love the saying that mistakes are tuition toward your education. Anything that's not going the way you want it to go is a learning experience. So don't salt your wound, don't salt your roots about it. Look to what can I learn from this and move forward. The third tip is a customer fortification tip. And if you want to fortify those customers and keep them coming back when they can come back, when things are safe, you need to use this tip, which is transparency. Be transparent and communicate often. Let your customers know what steps you're taking to provide a safe environment for them. Provide options. Customers love options. You see this all the time now with grocery stores. There's either come into the store, there's delivery, or there's curbside. What ways are you adapting? Communicate that and be transparent about it with your customers. When a customer is upset, the real definition of an upset customer is a customer who had an expectation that wasn't met. And so if that's a definition, a customer who is upset is someone who had an expectation that isn't being met, then your job as a leader is to manage those expectations. And right now, the best way you could do that is with communication and transparency. So those are the 3 tips for a profitable future. Fortify yourself with social support. Fortify your team by being the sun, not the salt, in your communication with them. And fortify your customers by being transparent and communicating frequently. And one way that I can support you in that fortifying is to offer you a 30-minute free consult. This is a time when it's time to give and be of service like never before. This is an unprecedented time. So if you'd like to set up a call, and I've been converting my business completely virtual. I've been doing virtual Zoom trainings and doing a lot of virtual online calls. So feel free to set up a call. Email me at marilyn@marilynsuttle.com or call up the office, and I'll be glad to be of service to you during this time of transition. All right, take care.